Chief Meteorologist Rob Perillo.
Welcome back. Well, a lot going on in the weather lab. Everybody getting a little bit more on edge and anxietous over a tropical system. And right now it's looking a little bit better for Acadiana, but you know how hurricanes go. They tug with your emotions. The track changes back and forth. Right now it's edging a little bit farther away from Acadiana, so that is good news for today. We'll see if we can maintain that as we head into the weekend. First off, though, Hannah Trahan-Gosheson is getting our weather shot today with the drone outside of the sports complex down in Youngsville, and in the background, a cool sports complex, by the way, really nice facility here. But in the background, my eyes always go to the sky, but this is a pretty cool shot. You can see the thunder shower off in the distance here. Lots of clouds out there today, and finally we have indeed broken that heat wave with temperatures today topping out lower 90s, and that's the maximum we're going to see as we head into the weekend, and even cooler with a tropical system coming nearby at the very least. Now this afternoon you can see scattered showers and storms across the region. They're heavier over southeast Louisiana and extreme western Louisiana, where we actually have a severe thunderstorm warning going right now for portions of Vernon Parish. Wind gusts in the 60-mile-an-hour range, maybe some small hail with this cell, but that's just around the Fort Polk area. More strong storms as you get into western Beauregard Parish as well. That activity moving away from us. Got a couple of hefty showers showing up southwestern portions of Avoyelles Parish by the Bunkie area and just north of Morrow, and then another cell northeast of Ville Platte, and a few other showers right along Highway 190, moving generally from east to west, and then action down along the coast down toward the coastal marsh. And the bigger picture right now, we'll see most of us just seeing activity probably coming in from the east, but diminishing with time as we open it on up here and look off to the east. We'll have to keep an eye on these storms as you get over toward Houma, Galliano, but they're probably going to weaken before they would get toward Acadiana. So on the satellite imagery, we see scattered showers and storms across the area, but all eyes down into the Caribbean, and this is looking to be a hot spot over the next couple of weeks. We'll tell you why in just a bit, but right now hurricane hunters finally got into this system, not in time for the 4 o'clock bulletin, but shortly thereafter they found tropical storm force winds. So this got upgraded from tropical depression number 9 earlier today to tropical storm Ida, and this is the name we'll go with. 40-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving to the northwest at 14. It's not particularly organized. It's going to be interacting with land, but it's probably going to strengthen before it interacts with the western tip of Cuba. And remember yesterday we're saying where this low starts is going to make a big difference on where it ends up. They had the low way down to the south here. Well, now it's farther to the north, so it misses the Yucatan. It clips eastern Cuba and then makes a beeline for southeast Louisiana. And current forecast by the National Hurricane Center, and this is kind of brave of them, they're forecasting a rapid intensification cycle that brings us close to a Cat 3 prior to landfall, and I think it's going to be stronger than a Cat 2 for sure. Can't tell you what it's going to be at landfall, exactly where that landfall is going to be, but nonetheless, we got to be prepared for a major storm in Louisiana. Now, the forecast track earlier today had the line going through Lafayette. That has shifted a little bit farther to the east, but still we're in the zone for the possibility of hurricane conditions, and they will be major hurricane conditions. Can't talk too much about wind or surge threat quite yet, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about that on my Facebook Live when time permits, coming up at 6:45 this evening. So check that out on KATC's page or www.katc.com/live. We'll be there. So we got water temperatures near 90 by the coastline. We also have this hot loop current out in the Gulf of Mexico where water temperatures near 90, and it's deep right here, and the storm's going to go and tap right into that. We saw with Hurricane Rita back in 05 and a number of other storms, that loop current can really supercharge a storm. So that's why I think we're going to have more than a Category 2 storm to deal with at landfall, and shear is going to be quite light as well. Now, this is the earlier run of the GFS. A new run is coming in as we speak and is actually a little bit farther east than this run. So we take a look at the GFS forecast making landfall Sunday afternoon. So conditions go downhill. Now, if New Orleans is going to have to evacuate, they may have to initiate those evacuation orders as early as Saturday night. We've been talking about that. Is that going to impact the Saints game? Well, certainly maybe. And then this will be moving inland. Of course, a hurricane threat is more important than any game. So again, this is 1 o'clock in the morning Monday, and then moving off into Mississippi. Not much weather here in Acadiana with the latest GFS model, and here's the Euro model, which is farther to the west. brings the storm mainly more towards St. Mary Parish, giving Acadiana a bigger blow. But we're going to stick with the GFS forecast. This is the only time I'm going to show you the Euro, other than the rainfall as well, because the GFS has been the superior performer on tropical systems. Plus, we have the graph model now. This just gets us out 72 hours. We're going to see scattered showers next couple of afternoons. We'll keep it in the 60% range. But watch the lower right-hand portion of your screen. Here comes the tropical system. So this was the 12Z run, the early run, and the graph model was east of the GFS, east of the Euro. So, and it did a great job with Hurricane Laura, Delta last year. So we're going to pay attention to this model, and this model is saying farther to the east, and guess what? The latest GFS model coming in 6 hours later is going for a more eastward track, and this model will update for us, we think, for the 6 o'clock show, so tune in at 6 o'clock. Rainfall-wise, if you're looking at the Euro, we're certainly going to get a lot more rain, but if we're looking at the GFS model, that heavy rain axis is going to be east of our region, so that's why we could not get maybe more than a drop of rain out of the hurricane, but we'll see some showers next couple of days, and then you could have that 10 to 15-inch rainfall that is so usual with hurricanes well to the east of us. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. What we're watching, again, 2 ridges of high pressure, very low shear over the Gulf of Mexico. So again, this is going to find the weakness between the 2 ridges, and I'm still a little nervous that this ridge is going to be a little bit stronger than anticipated, which could push this storm back to the west. So it's kind of like spinning a top and just letting it go, and sometimes you get a little random motion. So we're going to see how the storm develops over the next 24, 36 hours, and we'll have a better feel for that forecast track with time. But again, splitting the ridges of high pressure, and not that I want to add insult to injury, we do have the storm getting absorbed by a trough. That trough moves out later next week, and guess what? Could see another system coming into the Gulf of Mexico, and it does have hurricane potential as well, and that's as we head toward Labor Day weekend. Not that I want to pile on, but let you know that this is the beginning of the peak of hurricane season, and we're certainly peaking right now. So showers ending early, mild conditions, fair skies later on tonight, then tomorrow mostly sunny early, scattered afternoon showers and storms likely. Will go 91 the high, rain chance up there. And again, we're going to change these numbers for the period where we think we're going to have this hurricane threat. Could be windy for sure, but rain chance numbers may not be that high, or this could certainly change going into next week, a more typical summer scenario. But in the near term, it's going to be all about Tropical Storm Ida, which is expected to become a hurricane, and perhaps a major hurricane.